I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is After the Burn. Really excited about this one. I'm going to get into it in just a minute and tell you about our guest. It's going to be a fun one. But before we do, let me say hi to a couple of folks who are in here. This is going to be a neat one. I think we're going to get bombed by my sister-in-law. So we got to get ready for that. But I do want to say hello to people who are with us right now. Give me just 1 second. I'll see if I can pull this up. Boy, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to have a lot to talk about. We got Barb Aldrich, my wrenches, Brock Bandy, Dizzy Dragon, KM, Silver Surfer. We got Sam, Just Me Being Me, Wanna Love, Mike, Flaming Koala, Winchester Super X, Barbara Aldrich. Good to see you. Dizzy Dragon, I think I said that. Chili Chaplin. It's going to be a fun one. All right. Before we get into the interview today, if you have questions or a comment that you would like, please put 3 capital Q's in front of it, and they'll jump out at me. Now, they're going to slide by me, but don't worry. I'm going to highlight them, and we'll get to your questions, okay? A little housekeeping. Tomorrow, we've got 1 hot minute. So please join us. It's going to be a fun one. And the rest of the week is going to be fun. Thursday, we've got to be announced for the After the Burn Thursday. Friday, we have the Bus Pass only live stream. In addition, we have the premium Bus Pass holders are going to get the video chat. So that's going to happen Friday as well. Then Saturday and Sunday, we have the Capsaicin Connection. Before we get started, I'm going to throw this right on the screen right away. Justin Stagner, it's a good dude. He owns Stags BBQ. His daughter, Kendon, just a wonderful family. And we're going to get into one of the, without a doubt, the greatest mustard. It's just, my whole family's in love with it. We're going to get to that because I have a lot of questions about that. But without any more me yapping my gums, let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Justin. How are you, Justin Stagner, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing great, Johnny. How are you?
Man, I'm better than I deserve. I'm a happy fellow. Did you have a good day?
Had a great day today. Kendon here was feeling a little under the weather, so we laid around and watched TV all day.
How you feeling now, Kendon? You feeling a little better?
Yes, a lot better.
I'm a big fan of Kendon. I met Kendon when I was in Albuquerque. So I'm waving the banner for you, Kendon. I hope you feel better. I know you had a long day. I appreciate you taking the time, Justin, to hang with me today and talk. We're gonna get right to it. All right.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. So, well, listen, it's my pleasure. You own Stags. You make some great products. One is obviously the greatest mustard ever put in a bottle anywhere. But I want to find out how did this start? Have you always had a love for spicy stuff?
I've always had a love for cooking, and spicy stuff. Being from New Mexico kind of goes with the territory. My dad has loved spicy food, hot stuff his whole life, so it kind of carried on to me. So yeah, always had a love for it.
Now, when your youth, when you sort of got into it, were you into it because of was it peppers? Was it hot sauce? Because I know your barbecue is your forte. So was it more of a barbecue thing when you were younger?
When I was younger, it was my dad's the type of guy that carries around the bottle of Tabasco on his belt.
Nice.
So he's and he always had a chili pepper or some sort of pepper in his pocket every time we went to dinner. He grew his own peppers. Mostly jalapenos, green chili stuff in our part of the area. But
now, do you grow also?
I do not grow. No, sir. Do not have a green thumb.
I don't either. I eat them like crazy, but boy, I've never grown. Everybody always asks me. So the transition from I'm really into this, I like spicy stuff, to, you know what? I need to start Stags. How did that happen? And when did that happen?
So I've always cooked. I love to feed people. I think that's my passion, is feeding people. And so I've always cooked. I've always barbecued for a living, not for a living, but always barbecued for parties or weddings or whatever. And then I started getting into some catering, small caterings, and it just progressed. And then I started seeing I was making my sauce for parties and for caterings, And people say, hey, you need to make this. You need to make this. I'm sure they tell everyone that's ever catered that. And it just got to be so big that I thought, okay, I need to take a jump and try this.
Was it scary though? Because I know when you roll the dice, you're taking. I mean, at this point, were you married when you started it?
Yeah, I've been married this whole journey. We have three kids and 3 grandkids.
It wasn't just you. If you're a single guy and you're pushing your chips in the middle, but that's one thing. But when you have a wife and you have a family, and you had a business, you had a long career doing something else, and then you're taking all those chips and pushing in the middle. That's a scary moment.
Very scary, very nerve wracking. But it was
now how long have you been in business now?
So Stags has only been in business a little over a year legally, as far as getting my sauces co-packed instead of just making it at home. I probably catered and made my own sauces a couple years before that.
It's amazing. So I can't believe a year is mind-boggling to me. I want to get right to it. Now, first of all, before we even show you this, I want to show everybody this because it's a big deal. You know, my year in review at the last video I did at the end of the year, I talked about this because it was that significant and needed to be in the year in review. I met you guys when we were at the Fiery Foods, and I got some of your products, and I reviewed this. And I've talked about this, you guys. You may have heard me. This is his green chili honey mustard. I've gone through a lot of jars of this. This is the best mustard I have ever had in my life. And here's the funny thing about it, Justin, is my mom is not a chili head. And, everybody who knows me, they're always, what's it like? Well, it's not too hot. The truth is this isn't too hot. But her knee-jerk reaction was like, you're lying to me. You're going to burn me. And she tried it, and I'm swear to you, I'm telling you the truth. At least 3 or 4 times we've decided what we were going to make just because we wanted to put this on it. How did this recipe come to be? And is this your number one seller? And also, if we can, you've got a promo code that you've come up with. I'm going to type it out and throw it on the screen as you tell us the story behind this, which is the greatest mustard that everybody who's had it that I've let try it says the same thing. How did that happen?
I appreciate that. So yeah, we came out with a normal barbecue sauce first. Our honey chipotle is our original. And right off the bat, I wanted to do something different. I was in the Navy on the East Coast, and they do a lot of mustard-based sauces over in the East Coast. So right off the bat, I wanted to do a mustard sauce because there's not one around here. There's not a lot of them, a few big commercial brands, but I wanted to represent New Mexico. In all my flavorings, all my sauces, they have a little New Mexico in them. I mean, that's where I'm from. So I was born and raised. So I decided to do a honey green chili, Hatch green chili mustard. So we went with, we got to represent Hatch green chili in about everything we do. So I'm
almost done typing this in. Hang on. I'm doing this fast. I'm not a very good typer. Hang on. All right. So there is the promo code, you guys. And this isn't one of those, not to knock a 5% off promo code or $5 off. This is a 20% discount, people. So please use promo code. And if one of the wrenches can please get me the website for Stags and also all of his socials, Instagram. And what we'll do is we'll throw it up as we're talking about it. But if you guys are sitting on the fence, you're like, well, maybe Mama Scoville says this is the best mustard she's ever had. So is it your biggest seller?
So the Hatch green chili honey mustard has been our biggest seller. The peach habanero is starting to catch up. Those are our 2 biggest sellers, along with our rubs.
That's just, man, oh man, is that good. I love it. I'm not even fooling you. I tell you, we've come up with like dinners just for this. All right. So what role does because this is a family deal. You got the whole family's kind of, I want to know what hats, who's wearing what hat, because this is fascinating to me.
Well, we all wear all the hats except for the cooking. I do all the cooking. But my wife, my daughter here, Kendon, my son, my other daughter, my best friend, they all come. Any event we have, my dad will help me cook. He's the original, he's the OG cook of the family.
Nice.
So any caterings we do, it'll be usually my dad and myself, and then my wife and daughters will come help serve or set up or do all the pretty stuff. We do the greasy stuff.
Very, very cool. Kendon, do you like working with your dad?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember when I met you at the Albuquerque at the Fiery Food, kind of embarrassed you. They kind of put you on the spot. Can I tell that story?
Sure.
Okay. So I went by their booth. It was really great. They're just a wonderful family. And Justin tells me that Kendon, his daughter, is like a fan. And he said, would it be okay if you said hello to her? I said, of course. Let's get her. Zoom that thing up. Let's go. And she wasn't available. And so I stayed and we talked for a little bit. And I moved down a few booths down. I think it was your wife that came up after.
It was.
She said, yeah, she's like, listen, Kendon's available. Do you think, she asked me if I would leave a voice clip. So I said, let's just leave a video for her. So I made a video to send to her. And just as we were about to send it, she's like, oh my gosh, she's available. So we Skyped her on the spot, and poor Kendon had just gotten out of the shower and her hair was in a towel. It was adorable. It was the cutest thing in the world, but we totally put you on the spot. I kind of felt bad, but it was really cool meeting you out there. That was great. The promo code, hang on, right here, you're going to see, I just put that up. There's their website, all right, and the promo code up there. Here is their Instagram, okay? Please check that out. Here's my brother, Tommy Scoville. When he tells, no fooling, he's same thing. He says, I'm not even making words up. He says the best mustard he's ever had. You probably get that a lot from that particular mustard.
We do. We'll, at a show or something, we'll even get some people say, I'm not a mustard fan. Just try it.
You will be.
Yeah.
The great
people over.
The great thing about it is it truly, I know that everybody always says, like, if they say, is it too hot? It's not too hot. I should have it on a t-shirt, but truly it isn't that bad. It's something, non-chili heads can enjoy it. In fact, it's a great gateway product. If somebody's not really a spice person, that'll certainly get them on the path for sure.
Yeah, we use a medium hatch green chili in it. We didn't want to go too hot for this one. We didn't want to overpower the honey mustard flavor.
Do you eat it a lot?
We eat it all the time. My wife eats it about 4 to 5 times a week. That's her sauce.
I bet you go through a lot of it. It's just amazing. How many versions did it take to get it right? Is that something you worked on for a long time before you got the recipe down pat, or was it something that just fell into place immediately?
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 versions before we got it exactly right. And then, you send it off to a co-packer and they send it back, and it's not always perfect. So a couple versions with me and a couple versions with the co-packer to get it right.
That's nerve-wracking too, because it's like Toll House cookies. You say to yourself, well, here are the ingredients, this is how we made it, and when it comes back and it's not, it's like, and nobody's going to know as well as you do, you know what I mean? And
Correct.
What does the co-packer always say? Yeah, it tastes just like it.
Yeah, we're lucky we've had 2 different co-packers in this process, and both of them have been phenomenal and worked with us on that. But yeah, you're cooking it in a pot at home and they're cooking it in a big old vat. Things change.
Absolutely. Well, not only that, when you scale up, like the bigger you scale up, a lot of times the ingredients you use kind of change because you're scaling up, and you have to think differently. I've seen that happen a lot. In fact, it can change things. It's hard to keep it the same. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and they're always trying to, they look out for you, try to save you money with, a lesser ingredient. Like we use real honey. They, obviously want to suggest a honey syrup, which is a watered down honey, but we wanted to stick with real honey. We wanted to keep the real ingredients as much as we could.
Wow, it's so good. Just so you know, I have this. This is in my reserve bottle. I have a bottle in the fridge. It probably has this much left. I swear to you, I've gone into the fridge with a spoonful just to get some mustard with nothing on it.
I'll change that. I'll ship you some tomorrow.
Oh, you don't need to do that. I'm going to buy some from you, but it is just that good. And there was something I used the habanero. I can't remember what I used it on. The habanero peach, I used it on something that it was just so perfect. I wish I could remember, but man, oh man. Now, hot sauce. Let's talk about that. What's the future of Stags for hot sauce? Traditional hot sauces.
I'll use anything. I'm a big fan, and they don't even make it anymore. You have to order it from the factory. Tabasco has a garlic cayenne Tabasco sauce we order by the case for my dad and I. But the good thing about this business, every time we go to a show, we get to sample some of the best hot sauces in the world, and we always come home with a load of them.
Do you enjoy? I was going to get to that a little bit later, but do you enjoy doing the shows?
I love the shows. The shows are way more fun than the caterings. The caterings are a lot of work. We still enjoy the caterings. We have a lot of fun feeding people, but I just love to go to a show and meet other vendors. I love to meet our fans and people that are buying products from us or getting new fans, obviously. But we,
Well, when I asked that question, Kendon likes the shows. You enjoy them, huh?
she's our little salesperson.
It's fun. Do you like giving out samples?
Yes.
That's the fun part. That's the to me, the best part about shows is you really, from a business standpoint, it's nice if you can turn a profit. But really, the reason you're there is to get your face out, to get your name out there, to stay relevant. You know what I mean? Shake
Yes.
a lot of hands and make connections. You never know who you're going to meet.
Exactly. Everything in life's networking. I've always believed that. So it's just getting out there, and it's as much meeting the other vendors as it is
Sure.
meeting customers, because you may learn something. You may find a new route into a bigger retailer. It's just fun meeting vendors. I love those guys, and
Yep.
the barbecue and hot sauce community are just really tight knit. Been a lot of good people that we met.
It feels like a family.
It does.
When you go to those events, it's like a family reunion or something. They're very, very interesting.
It is.
How many do you, what's your schedule this year? You're going to go to Albuquerque. I know that.
Yeah, we'll be in Albuquerque February 28th to March 2nd. Fiery Foods, that's been by far the best show for us. Last year we did 4 or 5 shows plus some farmers markets and things, and we just had a blast at all of them. We'll try to do that this year and plus add a few shows. We're always looking for a good show. So if anybody on here has a suggestion for a good show, we're always up for that.
Albuquerque is so much fun. Let me tell you something. You're close. I mean, when you go like a big show and you have a couple choices. You can drive your products there, or you can ship them. No matter how you slice it, it's a nerve-wracking game because you got to calculate it the whole time. You're crunching numbers, trying to figure out what you know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta make sure it at least breaks even. We drove 13 hours to the American Royal last year, the Kansas City, and we sold enough sauce, but that's a long haul.
It sure is. Well, and the other thing is, like we've had, like when I had shows with David Foy from Blazing Foods, we've had shows where they were on the surface, the initial show, it's like we didn't do so well money wise, but then we got a phone call with one, opened up a chain with 300 stores. You know what I mean? That we met there. So you never really know what's going to come from it. A couple more links here. I don't know if look at this. Spend 20, save 4. It's a big deal, you guys. Thank you, Tracy. Here's Silver Surfer threw up his Facebook. Appreciate that. Let's see here. We got a question here from Tracy. Just curious, what percentage do co-packers charge, and how hard was it to find a co-packer?
So I don't know if they charge an exact percentage. They're in business, so I'm sure they're making a little money on you. But the initial co-packer was, again, a connection through a local butcher shop. And there were some great people out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we did business with them that was our order from Fiery Foods last year. And we had a great relationship with them to get into the bigger co-packers. Obviously, we started servicing United and H-E-B last year, which is some big chains. We had to go to a larger co-packer to meet that need. So that larger co-packer wouldn't take us initially. So you have to start at a small co-packer and move your way up.
So you're in Walmart.
Not in Walmart.
What would you say?
We're in United and H-E-B, which is
H-E-B. I'm sorry. So yeah. H-E-B is awesome. Anybody that hasn't been in Texas, you don't know what H-E-B is. H-E-B is amazing. Those big ones are hard to land. It's a lot of work.
It is. And right now we're just in one H-E-B in Lubbock, Texas, because my son lives there. But they're all from connections. United was from a connection from another sauce guy here pretty local to us. And then H-E-B was, my son went to school with a guy that used to be a cashier there, and now he's an assistant manager. So
isn't that funny? That's great.
It's all connections.
The first time I was ever recognized was in H-E-B, like a week before Christmas. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. Kendon, do you like cats? Do you like kittens?
No.
You don't like kittens?
She's allergic to cats. She's a dog fan.
Are you really? What kind? Do you have a dog?
Yes.
What kind?
We have a golden doodle and a beige poo, which is like a Bichon poodle mix.
And she has a lizard.
See, I'm a reptile guy. What kind of lizard do you have?
Leopard gecko.
They're very cool. You know what? Blue tongue skinks are kind of neat. But geckos are probably the coolest. You want one?
Yeah, but my mom doesn't like reptiles.
Well,
We're going to get one reptile in the house.
you have a one reptile rule. Is that the deal?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, I can see you picked a good one though. That's kind of cool. Look at this. I wasn't kidding about it. Kristen Melinda says HEB is a religion in Texas.
It is.
It's a great company. I have friends that have worked there though. It's a great company to work for. They treat their employees really, really well. It's like a family. All right. So let me get back to my question. I got a bunch more questions. When you're not doing what you're doing, I know it's the work you do is so, I mean, you work every day and you work a ton of hours, but when you're not working, what do you do to unwind? What are your hobbies?
My hobbies are probably cooking, trying to come up with new products. I love to cook, like to hang out with the family. Like I said, we have 3 kids, 3 grandchildren. So we love to hang out with family and grandbabies. If it's my wife and I, we love concerts. We try.
Really? What kind of music do you like?
Yeah, I'll go to any concert. If it's live music, I'm going. We tend to lean towards, country or something like that. But we'll go to, if it's live music, we'll go.
Well, you know what? It was interesting. The pandemic seemed like it destroyed live music. Big concerts just stopped. I haven't seen a live show in a long time. I miss it.
We go to Nashville usually once a year. Nashville's they have Taco Bell's there with live music. Everywhere you go has live music in Nashville. So
for real. But I used to live in Austin or Round Rock, and there was some great music.
Same thing there, yeah.
For sure. Let me see here. We have more questions from the group. All right. Let me move on to my next one. All right. Where are we? All right. Now, what is your favorite childhood memory related to food or barbecue?
So that would have to be, and she's passed away now, my great aunt.
Oh, sorry.
Great. Yeah. She was a great cook and a great baker. I've never mastered the baking thing, but if I was going to her house, there was always a blueberry pie and a coconut cream pie waiting. So just a great baker and a great cook. So
big influence.
Time with her.
Very, very cool. So family, obviously families, you're very, very family oriented, clearly.
It's everything.
Very cool. Very good. And obviously it seems like Kenton is 100% on board, which is really cool. Having your kids, be able to work with your kids is a really neat thing. I've had that opportunity with my son,
It's cool. A lot of fun. It's, I was in the car business 24 years and I spent a whole lot of time away from them. So leaving the car business and getting some more time with them has been really nice.
Where were you in the car business? What state?
In Clovis, New Mexico.
What'd you sell? What kind of cars?
I was at a GM store most of my career. We also owned a Dodge store. So I spent about 6-7 years there and then moved down to be the manager of the GM store.
It's a rough gig, man. We sort of talked earlier in the studio before we started. I sold cars for 3 months at a Toyota Dodge dealership in Denton, Texas. And man, I just didn't like it. I mean, it was literally, I remember the only way you're going to make money. I knew that the minute I walked off the lot, somebody was going to walk onto it that wanted to buy a car. So the only way you could really make money is if you were there all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a tough business. It was very good for my family and I did it for a lot of years. And again, I think it was just meeting people.
It's fun. Here's the problem. It's an addictive industry to be in. And I'm glad I got out when I did, or I'd probably still be doing it.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, if you're this is the truth. The person buying the car, they're buying it because of the person who's talking about it. It has nothing to do with it's everything. It's the personality of the guy selling it.
Oh yeah. Car salesmen, they've always said we rate around by lawyers and dentists. So people don't want a car salesman. They want a friend in the business.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, I'll share this really quick. My only really good memory selling cars. My dad was alive back then. The manager, GM, his name was Terry. He brought all the salespeople together. He said, the Dallas Stars just traded 2 players for 1 player in this trade. If anybody, the first person to tell me who the Dallas Stars picked up is going to get a free deal because he's coming down to buy one. And I called my father. My father told me, and I was able to sell the car. I can't remember who I sold it to. How about that? But I didn't have to do anything. I just, he was able to, the guy just walked out and stroked a check for it. It was pretty crazy. So you missed that industry at all?
No, I don't miss it. I enjoyed my time there. It was fun. It served its purpose in my life, but I enjoy my family more than I do the business.
Amen. And the funny thing, there's a common ground between cars and what you're doing now. It's still just relationships.
It's all relationships. It's all networking. It's all meeting people.
It's true. How do you sit down and plan future products or projects? How does that happen? Is that you? Is that you and your wife together?
No, not so much my wife. Talking to friends. I've got one in the works right now that a friend actually gave me the idea. He owns a sauce company, but a different type of sauce. It's just you sit down and you'll get an idea in the middle of the night, like, hey, I want to pair these 2 flavors together, and then you just start fiddling with it until you can come up with something.
Very cool. Now let me get back here. I have a couple of there's one. What was your education like? College? Tell me a little bit about that.
I graduated high school here in New Mexico. Was in the Navy for 3 years, so no college.
Tell me about your Navy experience. What was that like?
It was great. I went in. I turned 18 on the boat. I went in when I was 17. I graduated a little early. Went in when I was 17. Did 3 years. Enjoyed it. Just wasn't a career for me. I got to see the world on their dime and really got to do some neat things and meet some good people that I'm still friends with. Traveling's
an amazing thing. I've enjoyed that a lot. What was your favorite place you've been?
Favorite place, probably Rhodes, Greece.
I'd love to go to Greece.
It was beautiful. It's just like the pictures. It's beautiful.
Is it really?
Yes.
Do you have a bucket list place you'd like to go?
Anymore? Maybe Ireland. I've always wanted to go to Ireland.
Yeah, I have too. It's one of the greatest things you can do, I think, is travel. It's an education you can't get in a book or, there's no experience like actually going somewhere.
There's a lot of world out there. It's fun to explore.
Amen. Real quick, Feisty Irish, good to see you. Turd Ferguson, thanks for being here. Good to see you again. Brian, hello. Rick Spicer, Amber Jackie, a bunch of great people here. Hi, Pam, Goosebump, Jane Aldrich, Jeremy. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, throw big Q's in front of it, and we will get it to them. I had a question, and I just lost it. What was I going to ask you? Yeah. Okay, as far as either business or personal, what's the best piece of advice that anybody's ever given you related to business, whether it came from a family member or somebody in the industry?
Your network is your net worth.
Wow.
And I've heard that a million times. I didn't come up with it, but
I have it, and I'm writing that one down. Your net worth is your network. Hope you don't mind. I don't want to miss this one here.
No.
Where'd you hear that?
I have no clue. I've just always kept that in the back of my head. I heard it on somebody, and it kind of goes, another one I've heard that's exactly the same is your riches are in your relationships. And that's a big one.
Well, that's a fact. I have a friend who has, and he's my age, every person, and he got this advice from his dad, every person that he meets that he has more than a 3-minute conversation with, he gets their name, their phone number, now their email address, and he writes it down. And he's been doing this forever because he said that connections are what life is about. He's been doing that forever. It's pretty amazing.
That's very true.
Now, tell me a little bit. Hang on. Okay, now, did you ever barbecue on the circuit? Like,
no,
you know what I'm saying? Like team barbecuing, because it's a
I've
thing.
never got into the competition thing, more catering, and they're 2 different worlds. Competition, it's got to taste decent but look beautiful. and mine's got to taste good. It doesn't really matter what it looks like at the end of the day. So I'm more for taste than pretty. So I've
Right.
never got into it. I have a ton of respect for those guys. I've watched a lot of competitions, and man, they're great, but it's just not my game.
Right. I'm going to put you on the spot. This is a tough one. What makes Stags different than other barbecue sauces and barbecue companies?
We're better. No, we're a family business. I believe in our products. We use high quality ingredients. We represent our state well. We use a lot of New Mexico ingredients. Our best rub has New Mexico red chili powder in it. Our green chili mustard obviously has Hatch green chili. We represent our state well, and we build high quality products, I think.
Absolutely. Great question from Feisty Iris. This is for Kendon. I'm not sure if she's still there. Is she within earshot?
Kendon,
What is Kendon's favorite barbecue or hot sauce? And that's from Feisty Irish.
what's your favorite barbecue?
Barbecue or hot sauce?
Try barbecue first.
Barbecue is his honey chipotle, and then hot sauce is the blondie one from Madman. Let me go grab it.
We met a company. They're Madman hot sauces. We met them at Zest Fest last year in Fort Worth, and they make a pretty good hot sauce. And we left with a case, and she's going to go plug them a little bit if that's.
Oh, wow, nice. Oh, look at that label.
Yeah, they're great guys, and we bought a case of their sauce. She puts it on everything.
I love it. Well, they should pay you commissions for that plug you gave them. All right, so that's your favorite hot sauce. What about your favorite barbecue?
It's his honey chipotle.
What barbecue food do you like?
Food? Either brisket or those ribs that you just made.
She likes baby back ribs or brisket.
Or sausage.
Me too. Exactly the same. How often do you have to cook it? I know you like it. It's a passion, but how often do you cook at home?
Every day. I'm the cook of the family. Our house is a little different. I'm the cook of the family. My wife builds things. So she's
Are you serious?
She's very talented at building and engineering and things like that. So she'll be out in the shop doing woodworking, and I'm in here cooking dinner. So we're a little backwards, but it works.
That's hilarious. It does work. And she's a delight. That's very, very cool. I can't believe she builds stuff while you're cooking.
Yeah.
There's some great jokes in there, Justin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll have to work on a few.
We've had all of them. I promise.
Wow, that's funny. All right. As far as shipping, do you ship internationally? We have some gamer Jackie wants to know, do you ship internationally, or are we just going to the States here?
We're working on the international shipping right now. We should have that up and running soon.
Absolutely. That's very, very cool. That's good news too, if you're out of the country. Now, what did you do in the Navy? Says asked Chili Chaplin. My dad was stationed in Greece.
Well, I was stationed in a squadron of F-18s. I was aviation ordnanceman. So we built and loaded the bombs and missiles on F-18s. So we would fly our F-18s out to the aircraft carriers. So I was never stationed in Greece. I was just there 3 days.
That's exciting, though. It's pretty cool.
Great job. I enjoyed it.
I bet. You didn't make a career of it. Did you almost make that a full-time thing? Did you?
No, it was never something I wanted to do for a career. I just wanted to I didn't want to go to college. I knew I wouldn't make it in college. I barely liked high school. I knew I was going to make it in college. So
you used it. You used it, and that's brilliant, though.
Had a great time, met some good friends that I'm still friends with, and did my time and came back home.
Good for you. How grounded are you where you're at? Would you ever think about moving? Do you think that you're really comfortable where you're at?
Yeah, my wife owns a couple insurance agencies, and our grandkids are here close. Our best friends are here. We have a great little tiny circle of friends that we love, and we just don't want to leave.
It was great. Yeah, Kendon was like, no, I'm not going anywhere.
No.
Okay, Turd Ferguson wants to know, Kendon, where'd you get that epic hat?
My mom made it as a surprise before we went to the American Royal in Kansas.
So it says K-Dog. My son has called her K-Dog since she was born. So her nickname's always been K-Dog. That's why on our rib rub, I don't know if you see it, it's K-Dog sweet and spicy. So we named a rub after her, and we didn't tell her until we got it made.
Did you have that
No.
Why do I recognize the label? I guess I must have seen it from your website or
Well,
from
you've got
Instagram.
the rub you do have is chili dog, the red one. That's our beef rib, our beef rub. I'm sorry, and the other one's for pork and chicken.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, the habanero peach, that is a wicked good barbecue sauce. It really
Thank you
is.
so much. Appreciate that.
And by the way, Chili Chaplain says, thank you for your service. And I thank you as
I
well.
appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay. And we, let's see, we got a troublemaker here in the chat. We got Noah Wright. He likes to stir the pot. Refrigerate or not refrigerate? Hot sauce. You know that it's if you go to you go in any Facebook group or chili group online and say, hey, do you refrigerate sauces? And you step back and watch how they do this. What is your take on it?
They're in the refrigerator, but they'll be sitting out a couple of days. It doesn't. I'll take it either way.
We have a whole shelf of our fridge. It's just hot sauce that he's gotten at shows.
Really?
We do have a hot sauce shelf in our fridge. Yes.
You know what? I used to keep the only sauce I keep in the fridge are sauces that are fruit based. If it's a regular hot sauce, I don't. And when I lived in Reno, I had this big, giant, beautiful metal cabinet, and the shelves were metal. I mean, metal grate, not like solid, but it was a grate. And 100 or so bottles on each level. And one day I was there, I was looking to see what sauce I was going to review, and all I do is pick it up. I said, nope. Picked it up, and when I put it down, the entire thing dropped, and it dropped on the next one and on the next one, and we called it the Great Shelf Collapse. I lost so many bottles of sauce. My garage smelled like a hot sauce factory for 6 months. It was just my eyes were stinging for days from it. It was terrible. So, but yeah, thank you. There you go, Noah. You got your answer. I don't know, man. If it's fruit based, usually if you really like the sauce, you go through it really quickly. I will tell you this: if anybody is at home and you're watching this, honest to God, this is the best mustard that you're ever going to taste. Everybody that I've suggested this to, when I say get back to me and tell me what you think of it, I promise you will love this. If we could have the promo code one more time. Justin's really cool. He's the owner of the company. He's giving everybody watching this a promo code. I think it's CTH20. If you use that capital CTH20, you're going to get a 20% discount. Start with this. I promise you'll thank me. And you don't buy one jar. I kid you not. If you buy one jar, you're going to taste it. And before you're even out of this one, you're going to buy another one. So you may as well just buy two.
I like
my
that.
take. It's true. It's good stuff. All right. So let me get back to more questions here. Now, how do you handle competition in the industry? How do you kind of deal with it? And how do you see it?
It's crazy because I come from a very competitive industry and I haven't seen that in the sauce. I mean, of course, there's a ton of sauces out there. You're obviously competing for shelf space everywhere you go. But most of the people I've asked are helpful. They'll help you get into stores. They'll help you learn new things. I haven't had a lot of competitive people, I guess. We're just all here to help each other in my knowledge so far in the first year.
And you feel that though when you go to an event, everybody's very friendly. If somebody comes to your booth and you don't have it, and you know who does, people are always like that. They're helping each other out. Everybody wants to see everybody do well. That's the feeling I get for the most part.
It's barbecue as a whole. The big thing I like to do about cooking barbecue is it brings people together. There's so many differences in the world right now. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on or what color you are or whatever, but if we're sharing a rack of ribs, we're going to be friends. And that's what I love about the barbecue community. We're just all here to help each other out and see each other succeed.
Beef or pork?
I'm a beef guy.
Pork.
Really? Kendon goes pork. Now, you like beef ribs though?
More pork ribs.
There you go.
I'm a big fan of beef ribs.
Yeah.
I think it's the best bite in barbecue if you do it right.
You know what? If it's cooked well, I don't care. I mean, I really don't care at all. I just like barbecue, man. My business partner in Fort Mill, David Foy from Blazing Foods, that dude can barbecue. Big time. All right, Bizzles, one of my favorite dudes on the planet, a wonderful guy, great friend, and a wrench, wants to know his favorite question. 3 things that you're grateful for, my friend.
Family. Grateful for my family. I'm grateful that we live in a country where we can do things like this, where we can be entrepreneurs and get out there and work. And I'm really grateful
Bless
for
you.
our small group of friends. We have a really good group of friends.
Amen. Very cool. This is the photo I used from my year in review. All right. The stuff is just so good, honestly. If anybody is in the chat who's had it, throw in a comment of how much you love this stuff. I'd love to see what people think of it. All right. So Noah wants to ask, what is the very first hot pepper you've eaten? And what gave you the drive to do what you do?
So I probably started out like most people with a jalapeno or a hatch green chili of some sort down here. My dad would go into a restaurant with a jalapeno in his shirt pocket. So it's probably where I started.
And Hatch, boy, I'll tell you so. You live in an interesting place, Justin. When Hatch is in season, shoe stores sell peppers. I mean, it's Hatch everything when it's in season. It's crazy.
It's religion in New Mexico.
I was about to say that. And the funny thing is, boy, like you want to talk about like, well, is it New Mexico or is it Colorado?
Yeah, that'll start a fight.
No fooling. So
and
what's
we
the
love
answer?
Colorado. Colorado is one of our favorite places to vacation, not to get chili.
Really? Boy, Kendon, she's right there. She's like, no way.
I like their ice cream. That's it.
Really? They have good ice cream?
Yeah, we have
Very
a favorite little ice cream spot in Colorado.
The last time I was in Colorado, I jumped out of a plane there.
Yeah.
It was fun. Beautiful place to jump out of a plane because what you see is just incredible, you know. Question from KM. I have friends in Lubbock. Favorite and least favorite thing about that area?
So my new favorite thing is I've got a new grandson that lives in Lubbock. He was born January 1st, so my son and daughter-in-law live in Lubbock. So I'd have to say that is my favorite. Least favorite thing, you know, the wind and dirt. Just like eastern New Mexico, it can get windy and dirty.
Yeah, I have friends that are in Lubbock. The wind, big time. Weather's interesting there. Noah says, going back to beef or pork, he says beef ribs, yes, but I also do like pork. Beef is less dry. I think that's probably accurate.
I would agree.
Depending on how you cook it. I mean, if you don't cook, I've had friends that have made brisket. If you don't cook brisket right, brisket done well, you got to be kidding me. It's one of the best things in the world. Like, I love brisket if it's cooked well. Oh, it's one of my favorite things. In Texas, you know, like I lived in Texas for a long time. They take it really seriously there.
Yeah, we're 8 miles from the Texas border, so you know, we get a lot of brisket. We cook a lot of brisket.
In the summertime, how often are you barbecuing?
I'll cater almost every weekend. If I'm not catering, I'm cooking for friends or family. So I'm cooking all the time.
Right. Here's an interesting question. What is the role of traditional barbecue, you think, and how do you innovate while respecting the heritage of it and keeping it kind of?
Well, the good thing about barbecue is it's regional. You know, you go to the East Coast, you get a lot of whole hog, mustard or vinegar based sauces. Texas is beef, obviously. Kansas City's ribs. So it's regional. You kind of do what you want with it. I try to respect it. But you find your own flavors and your own methods. You learn from a lot of people via YouTube or shows or whatever, but you're always going to find your own way and your own flavors.
That's a good answer. Well, we're all thieves. You find something you like and you kind of take a little bit from this and take a little bit from that. You know what I mean? It's how we learn in life, not just about barbecue, but in life in general.
Exactly.
We learn from others. You know, a smart guy will learn from his mistakes. A really smart guy will learn from somebody else's.
Exactly.
If you're paying attention, you know. Let me see here. This is an interesting one. I don't even know if this is, I thought it would be an interesting question. I don't know if it's going to work, but if you could switch lives with any other barbecue pit master, who would it be?
I don't know. You know, I'm at the beginning of my journey. Obviously, there's some great pit masters out there. You think about the guys like, you know, Aaron Franklin and Tuffy and Mo Kason and those guys, but they've been at it a lot longer than I am. I'm going to enjoy the journey.
Right.
I don't think I'd switch with them.
Good. That's a good attitude. The you talked about regional. I don't know how much experience you have from different regions. What is your favorite? Is it obviously where you're at, or
Yeah, I would say Texas barbecue. I take most of my cues off of that. Just being so close and being in Texas so much. We have some really good friends that own a Texas barbecue spot that was in the top 8 in Texas. Love to go eat there. So I would say Texas is my favorite regional, but I do like to learn from other regions.
very, very cool. Here's a great question. His little miss is Kendon going to carry on the family business?
Maybe. I don't know.
She's only 11, so we're still trying to figure life out.
Right? Kendon, I'm still trying to figure life out. So don't worry. It's okay. You're in good company. Look at this. Noah says you can't ever do wrong with brisket. I've had brisket that was like dry, like really dry. To me, if you don't do brisket right, it's a train wreck.
It can be. I promise when I was learning, I threw away 3 or 4 briskets. You've got to really do it right. And back then when I was learning, the internet wasn't as big of a thing where you just go on YouTube and learn how to do it. I threw away a few trying to learn it.
Let me tell you something. Thank God for YouTube. I don't care what you're trying to sort out. There's a video, a how-to video. It's the truth.
It is, yes.
I mean, more than food, more than what we do here. I mean, it's the how-to.
It really is.
All right. So, this is a great one because you're an entrepreneur. My favorite definition of entrepreneur is there's a couple. Somebody who assumes the risk to achieve the gain is a good one. But my favorite definition of an entrepreneur, Justin, is somebody who's willing to work 85 hours a week for himself so that he doesn't have to work 40 hours a week for you. So I want to know, as an entrepreneur, what's the most important lesson that you've learned?
Well, it's just been a year, that I've been really at it doing this. But, you can beat your head against the wall some days, and some days it's going to feel like you're on the top of the mountain. Just always stay level. Don't get too high or too low. Just keep plugging along. Don't take it personal.
Right. It's hard to do sometimes. Hard not to. It's hard to believe that you're in it a year. The products that you have are amazing. I would have guessed a lot longer than that. That's stunning to me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's going to happen this next year. Yeah, we kind of got to that already, Noah. He's had it. I'll kind of encapsulate it for you. Justin's he's a chef. He's had a passion for cooking. That's kind of where it started. It's kind of grew up with it. I do okay there?
Sounds good to me.
Much of a sports guy?
I watch a lot of sports. Played a little sports back in the day. Trying to learn golf right now, but it's not going real well.
It's a rough sport, man.
Well,
Here's the problem with golf. You're a business owner. Golf takes time.
It does.
And if you're going to be, that's a tough sport if you're an entrepreneur because you work a lot of hours as it is. And that's a game that requires time,
Yeah, it'll never take the place of my business, but I like to go hack around a little bit, but I do like to watch sports. Love to watch. We got a friend, one of our best friends, his kid's a little stud basketball and football player. So we go to a lot of local games and watch him. That's
kind of cool. My dad grew up with a guy named Richie DeMarco. It was Chris DeMarco's dad. He's a golfer. I'm not sure if he's still on the tour, but he was a famous golfer. So that's kind of a cool thing. Sports are beautiful. I think, you know what? I think if you have a kid, I think every kid should almost be forced to play a team sport at some point.
Something.
Yeah. Even if it's no matter what it is, but to be on a team is one of the most important things. Even if they do it just for 1 year, it teaches them how to work with people you don't necessarily like, how to be a part of it. It's a beautiful thing. I think it's important. Okay. What is your process for I know you kind of touched on it briefly earlier, but not deep enough. What is your process for creating a new product?
So you just get an idea at some point, or someone gives you an idea, and then you just start playing with it. Or you eat at a good. We have a favorite restaurant in Texas that we go to, and he's got a glaze that he puts on a pork chop that is out of this world. So trying to replicate that, you don't want to call and use their recipe exactly, and they're probably not going to give it to you anyways. But try to replicate something you've tasted or just an idea you get.
Right. How many do you think? Well, I don't know if you even want to tell me. Do you have a bunch of projects in the works right now, like you're developing?
Maybe 2 or 3. Yeah.
Any that you're real excited about?
I'm going to try to come out with a couple a year.
Really? Good for you. You know what, though? That's wise, because I'll tell you something. I've seen people plenty of times over the years come out, guns blazing, and before you know it, they've got 20 products. I think it's good to kind of pace yourself and make sure the ones that you have are solid as can be.
Yeah,
So
if I could
roll out a couple
a
a
year,
year,
I'd be happy.
huh?
If I could do one a year that made it correctly, I'd be happy.
I got news for you, dude. If you can just replicate and do something this good, and all you did was one a year, you're okay, man.
Yeah,
Seriously, this is the kind of thing that I can see like a restaurant chain getting a hold of it and just making it, you know what I mean? It's that good. It's something. Yeah, you should be proud of that one. As far as eating, just munching on peppers, what is your favorite pepper just to munch on?
Jalapeno or green chili.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I thought for sure hatch. Jalapeno is a great pepper. It really is. It's sneaky, though. You can't trust them.
No, you can get some hot ones, but I enjoy that. Or our hatch green chili, we put it in about everything.
You're right. Well, I'm sure I put this on things that other people would probably not put it on. It's just really, really good. I'm sure I've eaten a third of it just on a spoon. It would be amazing on ramen. I have not done that. Wow. I never thought to put it on ramen noodles.
We've had ladies telling us they're making deviled eggs with it, potato salads.
Ooh, it'd be good on potato salad. But just on a brat or on a hot dog, listen, wicked good. I'm happy with it. This is an interesting one. Do you think how do you think barbecue can actually bridge cultural divides? Do you think it's even possible?
I don't know if anything's possible right now with that, but we talked about it earlier. I can sit with a friend that's a different color and a different political party, and we can sit there and share ribs together and be happy as can be. I think barbecue is the ultimate bring people together food. Whether you're having a barbecue at your house or you're cooking barbecue for somebody, I honestly think barbecue brings people together.
It's true. I mean, it absolutely is true. Any cookout kind of does. Eating in general does, but barbecue really does. I mean, it's probably as good as any, if not more. How do you try to stay or either identify trends in the industry and try to get in front of it? Is that something on your radar, or you just kind of?
Yeah, not right now. Not at this point in my career. Obviously, I'm always watching trends and stuff, but I try not to get too hung up on that because it may make me move in a different direction than I want to go. If you try to keep up with the Joneses, you may miss something that you're working on.
Right.
There's some sauces I work on now that are not in trends, but maybe a trend setter.
Trends got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I don't want to try to keep up with other people right now. I just want to do the best I can and do my thing.
That's a great way to stay focused. Worry about yourself, stay in your own lane, be the best you can be. But how much of a role does customer feedback play in day-to-day operations and how you recipes and such?
It's a huge role because that's the people you're trying to make happy. Customers always right. You learn that early in car business. But it's a huge thing, but also you can't make everyone happy. You'll get a guy that says, this has too much salt. Well, I can't change a rub that's very successful for one person. This may not be the rub for you, but
right.
And that's when you send them to somebody who may have a different rub. But, feedback's huge, and you want feedback, and I love feedback because it's going to tell you if you're doing the right thing or not. but it's also you can't please 100% of the people.
Right. What do you use? How often do you use rubs? Because I'll be honest with you, I use barbecue sauce a lot, but I don't use rubs too often.
Well, as much as I cater, I use a lot of rubs. You know, in a pork butt, brisket, ribs, I'm going to always use rubs. That's why I've come out with 2 good rubs, one for pork and one for beef. And I don't know if I'll venture too much off of the rubs. I've got one kind of in mind that may be something good, but you know, you need a good beef rub and you need a good pork rub because a pork rub will go on chicken or anything else. So I use rubs a lot.
Excellent. What's the biggest? I know you said only a year. What's the biggest obstacle in that year that you faced?
Getting meetings with stores. You know, you get blown off a lot being the new guy, but it's okay. Like I said, I don't take the no's personal.
Right.
I'm persistent without being overly persistent, but
So
I feel like if I can get a meeting, I can do well.
So what do you have a how does that work? You pick the stores like a certain size. You're looking for not obviously the giant big box, something smaller, local chains. How does that work? And then you kind of just reach out, or
yeah, I'll reach out. And lately we've had a few of those reaching out to us, so it's kind of come full circle, and that's helping us out a little bit. But you know, you reach out, you try to get a hold of the decision maker.
yeah, that's difficult sometimes. You get put off left and right. You know what I mean? Timing is everything too. You know what I mean?
It really is. There's some stores that told me no that have come back to us and been some of our better stores later on down the line.
Oh, finally got my elbow free. Cat's been sitting there the entire time. All right. So how do you plan to expand your customer base? Do you have an active plan, or how are you approaching that?
You know,
How much does social media play in that?
So social media is going to play some role in it. That's what my son does for a living, is social media management and websites and stuff.
How old is your son?
He's 25, fixed me 26 next week.
Wow.
So he does that for a living. So he kind of handles our social media and things like that. Obviously the technology end of it is not my strong suit, so I let him do that. But yeah, social media is always going to play a role in it. But I like the organic stuff a little bit better, where I'm just at shows or at caterings meeting people. I feel like that's a little more successful for me right now.
Yeah. How old are you, Justin?
47.
Wow, man. You make me feel old. You do. Guys, everybody on the screen right now is Justin's Barbecue. It's his website. If you use promo code CTH20, you're going to get a 20% discount. And for those that join late, and by the way, here's his Instagram. For those that join late, I'm not fooling you when I say this. And I've been doing this for almost 10 years. I'll say I like certain products, but very rarely do you hear me say this is the best of anything. I may have the hottest pepper, but as far as a product that somebody sells, like you're never going to hear me say this is the best hot sauce I've ever had. I like whatever hot sauce I'm having in that meal is kind of where I go. But without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best mustard I've ever tasted in my life. I'm not fooling. Just do me a favor. I rarely ask you to do this. If you're a mustard person, lean into the pitch, use the promo code CTH20, save 20%. And then after you've had it, you can call and thank me. And I'll be really cool about it. But I'm telling you, it's the best mustard that I've ever had. And I promise you it'll be the best mustard you ever have. It's so good. Now, do you ever think about making a scaled up version as far as heat, Justin? Because you got the flavor profile is so good. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, we actually thought about it for Fiery Foods this year to do with a hotter green chili in it. I don't think we're going to get it pulled off in time, but we actually thought about doing a little bit hotter. That's one of the sauces we've been playing with a little bit.
Like, if I can ask, I don't want to pry too deep, but how hot were you thinking? Like, what pepper were you thinking about using?
Well, I would stick with the green chili, but you could go to a Sandia or something like that. That's still grown in hatch, obviously, but they're the hotter version.
That would be really, really good. The truth is, if you never did that, it wouldn't matter. The stuff is so good. I mean, it's teasing you just having it on the table. I just want to taste it right now. It's so good. All right. So Bizzle says, what is the hottest pepper that you've had that that Kendon has ever tried?
Kenan tried to grow serranos last year, and she took a little bite of a serrano. So that's about as hot as she's went. I probably stop about habanero. I'm not the chili head some of you guys are, but I probably stop about habanero.
How did Kendon do with the Serrano?
A little spicy.
Was it hot, Kendon?
Yeah. I ate a whole serrano like out in my garden. I spit it out, and since I'm lactose free, it took me ages to get the burn out of my mouth.
She's allergic to milk, so she couldn't do the milk trick.
Well, Kendon, what were you doing eating the whole pepper?
It was a dare from my friend.
A dare. Crazy kid. These kids these days. Where'd you learn that crazy behavior? I love it. Well, I tell you what, it's still a pretty spicy pepper. I'd burn myself pretty bad with that one. I'm pretty impressed with it. Okay, now Sam wants to know, Pepper Poppy, have you ever thought about using a big mustard mama in your green chili sauce? Because that's kind of a greenish,
Yeah, I haven't.
Hot.
Yeah, I haven't. That's it. I don't know. I may need to look at that. I really want to stick close to my green chili roots, but that may be something to play with.
Yeah, you know what? There are some very, very hot green peppers out there. I just thought it'd be neat. I wasn't trying to start anything, but as it is, honest to God, as it is, it's still just so good. And when we're done with this interview, I'm going to find something to put this on. I have no idea what, but after talking about it, I'm going to find something to put this on.
Goes great on a turkey sandwich.
It's good on anything, man. Every single thing. You know what I had it on? It was amazing. I'm German, and we had made sausages with like dumplings.
Yeah.
I would probably use a third of one of the jars on that meal alone. It was that good.
Great,
really was. All right, we're getting down to the end of these questions here. Do you like the social media? I know your son does most of it, but how do you feel about the social? Because you and I'm a little bit older than you are, a lot older than you are, but I know how I feel about social media. I have my son help me out as much as he can, as I can get him to help me. But how do you feel about it? Do you like it, or is it something?
I think it's a necessary evil.
Great way to look at it.
I'm not a huge fan, but you almost have to have it in business nowadays.
You probably the necessary evil is the perfect description. When is the next pepper show you're going to be at? Is it going to be Fiery Foods?
Yeah, Fiery Foods coming up in a couple of weeks. Okay. February 28th.
I think I'm gonna try to be there. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Hopefully, I can pull it together.
We'd love to see.
It was fun. It really was fun last year.
It's a great show.
You know what? It's just probably the best. I mean, I really like Zest Fest. I really like the New York Hot Sauce Expo. Those are great. But boy, that's a big one. I mean, it really is. Do you have what's your next concert you're going to go see?
We've got, for my wife's birthday, we're going to see Brooks and Dunn.
Nice.
Here locally, or pretty local. And then Post Malone and Jelly Roll this summer. So,
ooh, that's a good show. I'd go with you that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, we're big on booking concerts.
Very, very cool. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Before we do, though, please, I want to put all of his socials up. I got a few of them here. Here is Justin's Facebook. You guys, he has a bunch of some really great. If you like barbecue, you've got to be checking his stuff out. His habanero peach is unbelievable. Tommy liked it a lot. There's his Facebook. Here is his Instagram. And don't forget, use his promo code CTH20 and you're going to save 20% off. And that's really generous of you. I appreciate you doing that for the audience.
That's the least I could do. I love your channel. Love everything you've done for us. So at least I could do.
Not for you. You gotta be kidding, man. I ate your wonderful mustard, man. It was my pleasure. I've enjoyed having you on. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you so much.
Listen, thank you. And I hope that I can pull this trip together for Fiery Foods. If I can, I'll be seeing you both. Kendon, thank you for being so cool and answering questions for you have fans now. Kind of neat, right? All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you guys. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to hang out with me.
Thanks for
love
having
you guys a lot. Please, you guys, do me a favor. One more time. Here it is. Try his sauce. Try his products. I give you my word, it's worth it. And then you can tell me that you can thank me later. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, guys. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was After the Burn.